Thank you for watching CBS 8 Plus and welcome to this Throwback Special. I'm Carlo Cicchetto. With more than 70 years of broadcasting, we've been able to share countless memorable moments that matter to our San Diego community and beyond. In this Throwback Special, we find Hollywood legends, the biggest names in theater and rock and roll royalty, all making their way to San Diego. Let's get started with the brightest stars of the stage and silver screen. From San Diego natives Gregory Peck and Dennis Hopper to Jayne Mansfield, Joan Crawford, and Carol Channing. If they were in town, TV8's Harold Keane tracked them down. When the brightest stars of Hollywood's golden age came to San Diego in the 1950s and 60s, TV8 crews and newsman Harold Keane were on it, regularly tracking them down for an interview. In 1963, Joan Crawford attended the dedication of the Pepsi building in Kearny Mesa. Her late husband was CEO of the company, and Crawford was on the board of directors. Keane asked her about her family and her new movie with Bette Davis, the huge hit, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Could you tell us something about your family?
My twins are 16, and one is traveling with me at the moment. The other one is in New York taking special art courses.
Do any of them have any aspirations for a show career?
My eldest, Christina, yes. But the twins, no.
Did you know that in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, that Victor Buono, who was nominated for the Academy Award as Best Supporting Actor, is a San Diego boy?
So I hear. You should be very proud of him.
What sort of an actor did you find him to be?
Very, very professional, extremely talented, eager to learn, eager to work hard, and he was doing a play at the time, you know. We had to get him on.
In San Diego, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Commuting back and forth.
Yes, he was. It was rather difficult for him.
Now, this turned out to be one of the big sleepers of all time, this picture, as far as a money-making picture is concerned, isn't it?
Yes. We didn't think it was going to be a dud. We all of us who worked on it really thought it was going to be exactly what it is.
It was quite a low-budget picture, wasn't it?
Yes, $850,000 shot in 31 days.
And it set all sorts of box office records in New York alone on its opening.
In 11 days in New York City area alone, we got back the $850,000.
La Jolla native Gregory Peck came home for the world premiere of To Kill a Mockingbird in 1963. He would win an Oscar for Best Actor, and the movie won Best Picture.
Named your own picture, To Kill a Mockingbird. There's an organization in San Diego known as the San Diego Patriotic Society, which claims that this picture would result in racial disturbances because it depicts a white lawyer representing a Negro charged with rape. Would you care to comment?
Yeah, that sounds rather foolish to me. I doubt that they've read the book or seen the picture. Let them see it or read it and say that afterwards.
You don't think that this would have any element of incitement in it? It's a very thoughtful type of theme.
On the contrary, I believe that, because this book is written by Southern. This book is very popular at the South. Most Southerners feel that it presents their side of the problem in a light which hasn't been portrayed before. The fair-minded Southerner, decent Southerner, I'm sure those represent the majority of Southerners, not the rabble-rousers and the brick-throwers, is portrayed perhaps for the first time, and it's quite, I think, a good thing for the image of our country abroad, particularly where there are people of color, to show a white Southerner defending a black Southerner.
Another local acting legend, Dennis Hopper, was in town for the openings of two motion pictures, Battle Beyond the Sun and Night Tide. Keane asked the Helix High grad if his acting experience in San Diego was a good foundation for his career in movies.
Dennis, do you think that your San Diego acting experience served as a good foundation for your career in Hollywood?
I think it was invaluable. My training at the Globe Theater, and when I graduated from high school, I played Shakespeare here at the old Globe Theater, and that was a marvelous experience. And I worked at La Jolla Playhouse, and as an apprentice, and I met a lot of people there. I had a great opportunity to watch professional actors work and rehearse, and it was invaluable.
Hollywood bombshell Jayne Mansfield starred in the stage version of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes at the Circle Arts Theater in 1964.
How do you like this role of Lorelei?
I love it. It's so much fun. It's very campy, but the girl is sweet. I play her very soft. I don't play her brass or crass.
Too scatterbrainy?
No, of course she's not scatterbrained at all, because any girl who would be so smart as to try to gather as many diamonds as this girl is could not be a scatterbrained.
And Broadway legend Carol Channing brought her signature role in Hello, Dolly to the New Civic Theater in 1965.
You probably know that Hello, Dolly set an 8-day gross record for San Diego for any show that has been here for 8 days or will be here for 8 days.
And what a beautiful auditorium. This wasn't here when I was here before. It's only here a few months, isn't it? Oh, it's gorgeous here. Well, we have our matinee tomorrow. They put in extra. No show ever had so many matinees in 1 week. We've got one every day except Friday.
And everyone sold out.
Yes.
Every performance sold out. Well, welcome to San Diego. We certainly are very appreciative of the fact that you were able to bring Hello, Dolly here.
Oh, thank you, Harold Keene. Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Our film may be black and white, but it was certainly a golden era for Hollywood. Sun Up San Diego launched here at KFMB in 1960. Bob Mills was the host. His daughter found his personal film collection while cleaning out her garage and gave it to us in January of 2023. Among the gems buried for decades were the interviews you're about to watch with some very famous faces.
Ronald, as you travel around the country now, not as an actor, but almost a representative for your way of thinking as far as government policies are concerned, do you feel that maybe you've left something behind as far as acting career is concerned?
Well, I hope not, because frankly, I still think of myself as an actor and want to be. And I don't know, there doesn't seem to be too much of it, as long as I can get acting jobs.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't seem to be doing too badly here on GE Theater. We see you every week here on TV 8.
Yes, I understand that we just learned recently that after 8 long years, the normal sponsor itch set in, and so this is the last season for GE Theater.
Well, what do you have in mind past that time?
I don't know. I've been in the nest so long, I'm still blinking in the sunlight now, and I do find I'm getting kind of a kick out of looking around and seeing the different courses that are available. After all, progress is my most important progress, the product too.
I understand that. But on these trips around the country where you make speaking engagements on behalf of our American heritage, like you are here in San Diego today, were you sort of representing the General Electric Company?
Well, they sponsored, as a part of the show, a number of weeks of touring each year. But they never, in any way in all these 8 years, have ever suggested a subject to me, or a change of subject, or even argued a choice of words. I have been free to say whatever I wanted to say, and my subject has been my own choosing.
Do they happen to agree with your policies?
Well, that's such a big company, and it is so decentralized that it would be, I'm sure, the same as with the audience and the public, that there is a wide divergence there, too. There are some who do, and there are some who don't.
The reason I ask is not often the fellow in your stature and position as an actor would take upon himself to, say, back a political candidate, as you did Richard Nixon.
Well, I don't know.
Publicly.
Frank Sinatra and the boys were over on the other side for the other candidate. There's been more of this in Hollywood than people are prepared to realize. Back through every campaign, I can remember the people in our business, just like in any community, getting worked up and staging rallies, and some of them, like Frank, didn't attempt to make speeches. They went out and sang songs, and somebody else made the speech. Well, I don't happen to be able to sing. And there was no sense in hurting my candidate's chances by trying. So, you know, in Hollywood, if you can't sing or dance, you wind up being an after-dinner speaker.
Well, I don't know that that's such a bad wind-up. Ronald Reagan?
Well, you're the top gal today, I would judge. Especially from the students that are waiting inside there to see you. One of the biggest crowds in San Diego State history.
I hope I do them justice.
I'm sure you will. What albums do you have out now, Joan?
I have 4 on Vanguard. Those are the good ones.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? There are some bad ones by Joan Baez?
Oh, there's some people who are printing ones they shouldn't print, but just old tapes they got a hold of. But 4 Vanguard records are good records.
Yeah. Done in a studio with the right kind of acoustics and the whole business.
Yeah.
Do you have any more coming out soon?
Oh, there'll be one. I think I'd like to do an album of Bobby Dylan songs. I don't know if you've heard. Do you know him?
I'm afraid I don't.
He will, I think.
Huh?
No, he's just a fellow who's been writing a lot of brilliant songs, and I'd sort of like to do an album of his songs. I think they're hollering for me, and
As a matter of fact, I believe they are. They're just about to introduce Joan Baez here at San Diego State College. Joan, thank you very, very much for the few minutes.
Thank you.
Well, we have fond memories of you on the Sun Up crew. A lot of the gang ask about you.
I do too.
And many of our fans are always wondering what happened to Raquel. So we try to keep them up as your career progresses.
Oh, well, I've been to Europe, as you may or may not know. I was there for about 18 months, about 2 years ago, and I made several films there. I worked in Italy and France and London and Spain.
What's your favorite picture? What do you think did the best for you?
Well, at this moment, my favorite picture is yet to be released. I made a film just recently in Texas and Arizona with Dean Martin and Jimmy Stewart called Bandolero. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the best role I've had to date, and I think I do the best job in it so far. And we had a wonderful time making it.
What do you play in? What's your part?
Well, I play the part of a widow who's kidnapped by outlaws. And Jimmy and Dean are brothers. One is kind of a good guy, is more conservative in his attitudes toward life, and the other one is kind of an outlaw, a rebel.
Raquel, thanks for spending a few minutes on Sun Up, because I say a lot of your fans have been asking about you, and I wanted them to see you in the brief time that you're in San Diego.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Good of you to come by.
Raquel Welch, Joan Baez, and Ronald Reagan. Big names, but this one might be even bigger. Elvis, the king of rock and roll, graced San Diego stages with his presence several times over the years. We were at concerts in 1956 and 1970, and in 1976, reporter Roberto Salinas talked with excited fans in the Sports Arena parking lot buying tickets for a show. Sadly, it would be his last performance in San Diego before his death in 1977.
When the biggest music legends on the planet came to San Diego, we were there. Elvis Presley drove the girls wild in 1956 at the San Diego Arena. The film is silent. Audio was rarely recorded for news in those days. The story called Elvis a teenage idol and said when he strolled to the microphone in his pale green sports jacket and started a song, the crowd of about 4,000, mostly teen girls, squealed and swooned. In fact, their screams drowned out most of the performance. The kids were happy, but the parents were not, some complaining to police that the show was inappropriate for a juvenile audience. We uncovered this footage of Elvis years later at the Sports Arena. This video from 1970 has attracted a lot of attention on YouTube. One viewer commenting, "I can't express in words how sensational this footage is. Never seen this, one of his best tours, still in greatest shape." And in 1976, about a year before he died, Elvis came to San Diego for a last time. TV8's Roberto Salinas caught up with excited fans in the parking lot, waiting to buy tickets.
We all think he's a very fantastic person, not only a performer, but a man.
How long have you been following him around?
Just since 1970. I've always liked him, but until he started appearing in Las Vegas is when we started following him.
Do you take your family up to Vegas as well?
We certainly do.
This is the first time we've ever spent the night. We've had good tickets before, but we've never spent the night for him.
Did you get good tickets this time?
Very good. We got first row.
Are you in love with him?
Yes. I haven't seen him for a long time, but since last time.
Do you fantasize about him?
All the time.
Like what?
I have dreams at night of me and Elvis.
Are you in love with him?
Yeah.
How long have you loved him?
Since the first time I ever saw him.
Which was?
I don't remember. On TV, probably.
By airtime this evening, more than 9,000 tickets have been sold. 5,000 have not. But promoters aren't worried. Presley has been performing to sold-out crowds ever since his career began, over 20 years ago. Reporting for TV8 News, Roberto Salinas.
Waiting all night to buy tickets. It had to be love, and also a lot more fun than clicking on a website. The Rolling Stones are definitely rock and roll royalty, and they were no strangers to San Diego. We uncovered footage from their first concert in America's finest city from the 1960s. They played the Starlight Bowl on their second U.S. tour. They called it the Balboa Park Bowl back then. A few years later, fans camped out night and day to get the best seats at the Sports Arena once again. There was concern back then that their 1972 tour would be their last.
The Rolling Stones hit San Diego on their first North American tour in 1964. Mick and the boys thrilled the crowds as they got off the plane. Here they are hanging out before the show, and then... Back in 1972, fans camped out all night and day to secure the best seats at the sports arena to see the Stones. There was some concern that it would be their last tour.
The tickets for the one-time-only San Diego Stones concert were pre-sold, but the seating is on a first-come, first-served basis, and music fans have been lining up for the tickets since early morning.
We got here last night.
What time?
Oh, it was about 11 o'clock last night.
Is it worth it?
Very worth it.
Why?
Why? It's the Rolling Stones. I've never seen it in my life, and it may be the last time, so I'm here.
Got here at 7 o'clock last night. Last night, 7 o'clock.
What have you been doing all that time?
Getting stoned.
What time did you arrive?
Last night.
What time?
I don't know. About 11. About 11.
Have you ever seen the Rolling Stones before?
Yes, I have. One time in Altamont.
And why are you going to see them again?
Because I didn't see enough of them last time.
What time did you arrive?
This morning. Really early.
How early?
About 10.
Why?
Why? Because I want to get good seats.
They were worried it would be the last time. More than 50 years later, they're still going. The quintessential Southern California band, the Beach Boys, have a long connection to San Diego. Not only did they play here many times, in 1966, CBS 8 was the only TV station with the band when they shot the cover of their iconic album, Pet Sounds, at the San Diego Zoo. Enjoy some of the good vibrations from their visits.
In 1966, the Beach Boys shot the cover of their groundbreaking album, Pet Sounds, at the San Diego Zoo. We were the only station there, and we unearthed this incredible short silent film in 2021. Mike Love and Brian Wilson may not be performing together anymore, but we showed both of them the film, and they were thrilled. A lot of fans were excited about the film as well, as these are the only existing moving images of the photo shoot. One comment on YouTube said, "It's like Mona Lisa come to life." In 1976, Janine Tartaglia went backstage to interview drummer Dennis Wilson. And in 1983, Mike Love said they wouldn't stop as long as they had fans that wanted to hear them.
15 years is a long time to be cruising the music scene, but the Beach Boys, their freewheeling tempo and high-pitched harmony can still capture an audience. They proved that last night before 14,000 fans in the sports arena. The spirit of the Beach Boys revolves around their chief songwriter, Brian Wilson. It was his talent and fascination with waves, surfers, and endless summers that developed the band's direction. But due to performing pressures, Brian dropped out of the spotlight in 1965. Not until now has he reappeared on stage as the band's leader.
The albums have more of a concept, overall concept now, than if you have 5 individuals writing 5 different tunes. We don't sing about the end or war. We sing about having good vibrations or having fun.
Staying together for 15 years hasn't been easy, but through the hits and flops, the group has learned something.
I'm having more fun now as I'm a little older. When I was 17, 18, it was fun, but now it's a ball. As I guess you get older, you you have a little more fun with things. You can not take it as serious, you know, enjoy it.
From the sports arena, Janine Tartaglia reporting for TV8 News.
50,000 people. Few of them left after the Padres game. Actually, some had come here just before the game was over to see the Beach Boys. They were young.
I love them.
Why?
Because they're so neat. They sing good.
They were old.
I like their music, and I'm 46 years old, and I love it. I love their music.
Good.
The mother is 6 and here all by myself. I came here just to see the Beach Boys.
Can I get your name?
Left all my children and everything.
While preparations were going on outside, the Beach Boys were getting ready inside. We talked with one of them. You've been doing this for quite some time. How long will the Beach Boys be continuing this? How long are they going to be playing?
As long as we're healthy and enjoy what we're doing. And we started singing because we love making music, harmony and stuff. So I don't see any reason to stop as long as we have fans that want to hear us.
Now you have kids and family at home. Are they Beach Boys fans?
Well, I think so. Although my son, Christian, we played in Santa Barbara yesterday, and he went surfing instead of our show. I don't know where his priorities are at, but I guess they're okay as long as he's surfing, you know.
The crowd loved it, but while they jumped and rocked in the stadium, city engineers measured movements outside, trying to learn how much the stadium shakes when a crowd gets into the music. As for the concert, it went on. The mood was festive. Bill Pounders, News 8.
Thank you so much for watching this star-studded throwback special. To see more throwbacks like this on CBS 8+, you can click on the News tab at the top of the screen. I'm Carlo Cicchetto. We'll see you next time.